Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Professor Sebastian working on our Calculus 3 class notes. We're now on page 30. Gosh, why do I forget that? Page 30, yes. We're going to be working up to example 28. But before we do that, I need to talk about the vector and parametric equations for ideal projectile motion. Now, when I say ideal projectile motion, imagine someone is standing at the origin, or imagine we're shooting from ground level at the origin of projectile. In this picture, it's from ground level, but somebody could be standing and shooting it from a higher level. Okay, but for right now, just imagine ground level. So when you shoot this in ideal projectile motion, it will stay in a single plane. So we can imagine that's the XY plane, and it will not rotate over towards us in the positive z direction or away from us in a negative z direction, because there's no wind or anything that would cause the projectile to do that. So that's why it's called ideal projectile motion. It really exists in 2 dimensions in the xy plane. So what we have to work with is we have an initial velocity vector. We call that v naught to indicate that it's the initial velocity vector. And so that initial velocity vector will have a component in the I direction and a component in the j direction. So it's the magnitude of whatever that initial velocity is coming out of it times the cosine of alpha, where alpha is the angle that the projectile, when it's initially shot up, is angle it makes with the ground level or the x-axis. And in the y direction, it's the magnitude of that velocity vector times the sine of alpha in the j direction. That's just basic trig. If this length of this vector, the initial velocity vector, is the magnitude of v naught, then you can see how these guys are easily determined. Okay, so then what we say is, let's call nu naught, it's not quite v, this is the Greek letter nu naught, to represent the magnitude of the initial velocity vector v naught, so we don't have to keep writing that. So the initial velocity vector v naught is nu naught cosine of alpha in the I direction plus nu naught sine of alpha in the j direction. And the initial position, the way I drew this picture, is at the origin, so it's 0i plus 0j. That's the initial position. Now, it could be some other initial position, and the formulas will all work out, but I'm just starting with that for now. Okay, Newton's second law, which is force equals mass times acceleration, gives us the following. We know that mass times acceleration would be mass times the second derivative of the position function. Okay, well, the only acceleration that acts on this in the ideal situation is gravitational force. So, and that always acts downwards, right, towards the center of the Earth. So it's minus mg in the j direction, where g is the gravitational constant. Typically, we're using newtons in meters, so it's 9.8 newtons per meter squared. The acceleration then, if I divide by m, we can see that the acceleration, or r double prime of t, is minus g in the j direction. So what we can do is we can integrate that once to find the velocity vector, right? Because r prime is the velocity vector. So if I integrate r double prime, the acceleration vector, I can find the velocity vector. So when I integrate minus g, I get minus gt in the j direction plus some initial velocity vector, which again, we know the initial velocity vector, so there it is. Then we integrate again to get the position vector. So if I integrate minus gt, I get minus 1/2 gt squared in the j direction, plus this initial velocity vector times t, integrate that, I get times t, plus some initial position vector. Again, that's 0 for now, but I could have any initial position. It doesn't have to be at the origin. So what do I get? The position vector then is minus 1/2 gt squared j plus nu naught cosine of alpha t in the I direction plus nu naught sine of alpha times t in the j direction plus 0. So the ideal projectile motion equation is r of t equals nu naught cosine of alpha t in the I direction plus nu naught sine of alpha times t minus 1/2 gt squared in the j direction. Now, if the projectile is fired from x naught, y naught instead of the origin, then my initial position vector, instead of being 0 like I show here, would just be x naught, y naught. So I put x naught in with the I component and y naught in with the j component, and that's the position, the ideal projectile motion equation. Now, when does a projectile reach its highest point? Well, when its vertical velocity component is 0. Now, its vertical velocity component, that means the j, right? That's vertical. So the vertical velocity component would be taking the derivative of this because this is position. So the vertical velocity component would be v nu naught sine of alpha minus gt. So when I set that equal to 0, I can solve for t, and I get nu naught sine alpha over g. Okay, that's when a projectile reaches its highest point. So what is its highest point? Its maximum height, or we call that y max sometimes, is y naught, right? Its maximum height. This is its y component. So it's y naught plus nu naught sine of alpha times the t that we figured out when it reaches its highest point, which is nu naught sine of alpha g divided by g, minus 1/2 g times that same t squared. If you simplify that, y max is y naught plus nu naught sine of alpha quantity squared divided by 2g. Now, when fired over horizontal ground, the projectile lands when its vertical component equals 0. So if y naught equals 0, then when its vertical component equals 0, this vertical component equals 0 right here, you would have this equation because y naught is 0. So t times nu naught sine alpha minus 1/2 gt would equal 0. Right, I've factored a t out of these two guys. So you can solve that for t. Then t is equal to 0. Well, that's not the case. That's when it's initially shot. So when it lands would be the other value of t. Solving this one for t right here, you get t equals 2 nu naught sine of alpha divided by g. Now, if y naught is not 0, then you just use the quadratic equation right here, right, on the vertical component, right, on the j component of the position function, right? You want to set that equal to 0. You can solve for t, and you can do that. So it just depends on what y naught is, so I won't do that in general. Now the range, how far it goes down from down range means down that x-axis, right? How far along the ground it goes when you shoot it. That would be nu naught cosine of alpha, right, the initial velocity component, times t. So it's nu naught cosine of alpha times the t when it lands, which is 2 nu naught sine of alpha divided by g. Simplify that and you get this.